What's up, everybody? Welcome to Sit Down. I'm DJ Sixsmith. We got some great guests in the building. Open Mic Eagle, Baron Vaughn. Guys, how are you?
Good. How's it going?
Everything's great.
Good to see you, DJ.
Nice to meet you.
Good to meet you. Nice to see you. Congratulations on the show, the new Negroes,
Yes.
Friday, Comedy
Yes.
Central. And this is like a really cool time for this show, and just it seems like an awesome show in general. So, Baron, let's start with you. How did you guys come together and do this whole thing?
Well, I started this show many years ago at a comedy festival in Portland, Oregon, which at that time, Portland was asking itself, what have we done to our black people? So to bring this show there kind of was zeitgeisty, I guess, and it was well attended. The range of comedians was the whole point of it, always for me. So I wanted to have a show where I could show how amazing all these different people are. And then went back to Los Angeles and started thinking about starting a show in LA as well. And by that time, Mike and I were pretty acquainted with each other.
We were pals.
We were pals, you could say. And so I asked him to come be my co-host. I always wanted him to be a co-host, not necessarily a sidekick. Very different.
Yes, same plane.
Yes, same. It can be same plane, but I wanted to dialogue. So that's sort of.
Oh, you were the co-host. What was that like for you?
Sometimes I wanted to be the sidekick, but
I insist.
he made me.
Had to be the co-host.
But it was great. He's a world-class stand-up comic, so it's not always easy to stand up there and riff with him and be on stage with some of the best comics in the country. You're coming in and killing it. But it's good. It was a great opportunity for me to escape from the doldrums of independent rap music.
How bad were those doldrums of independent rap music?
There's not past tense.
Yeah, still horrible.
Wow, Rhyme and Reason don't rain once more?
It never did.
Oh.
It was all a lie. It was all perpetuated by big
Phantom Toll Booth? Oh, okay.
So when did you guys realize that you had something going here between the stand-up and the music?
Well, I mean, I think we probably have different times that we felt it was working for us on a personal level. I mean, I, as a comedian, when every comedian that did the show was like, that was incredible, that's how I knew. Over and over again. I kept getting these great reviews from comedians I love and admire, so I was like, okay, I'm on to something.
Give me some examples.
Some examples. Well, actually, Reggie Watts was one of the first people to like really tell me, and Reggie's a hard dude to read sometimes because he speaks in riddles.
And he has a lot of hair.
And you have to move the hair and the riddles.
It's like, hey, can you move the hair out of the way so I could just look you in the eye there?
And he was like, man, this is fantastic. You got to take this on the road, or, you know, I think that's what he said. But it was like, you know, sometimes you ask him what the time is, and he's like, I'll consult the moon. So to get a prime directive from him, I thought was a really good start.
So what was the point for you, Mike, when you realized it?
Well, I'm used to having to promote stuff real hard, and then maybe some people show up. But people always show up. And we don't even have to promote that hard.
That's nice.
It is nice.
Yeah.
It's a contrast.
What was the smallest show you ever did?
Ever?
Yeah.
Oh, I've done shows where there's like 7 people.
Wow.
And like 4 of the other 7 people are also people on the show.
Where was that?
That was Athens, Georgia, in like 2013, I think.
Wow.
14.
I got you beat.
What was your smallest show, Baron?
Yeah, I can't remember exactly what college it was. It was a college show.
Okay.
And any college that books you can, you know, they have the authority to cancel the show if they think.
Sure.
But this college did not. There were literally 2 people in the audience 15 minutes after the show was supposed to start.
Oof.
So I was thinking they were going to be like, we're going to cancel it, blah, blah, blah. They're like, all right, you ready to go on? I'm like, are you serious? I'm like, I could just sit next to them and talk to them. I don't need the microphone.
I did a college show last year where I show up and because you know, like children run everything in a college show. It's really scary.
Yeah.
I show up.
Sometimes they have an advisor.
No, not this time.
Okay.
Not this time.
The show was supposed to be on a patio. And they just had like this picnic table with this little terrible sound system on it. And okay, you go here. And then it started raining and they didn't have any cover. So they moved the show inside to the student center where people were studying.
Yes.
You're like, I'm just going to drop a beat real quick.
You rap here now.
You're like, oh.
I have to do that same thing. They're like, oh, everyone's going to be studying. It's finals. So you go do your comedy. I'm like, they literally don't want it. They're concentrating.
Oh, man.
Upset, you could tell.
Wow. So you guys have gone from those humble beginnings to now being on Comedy Central.
That was last year.
But seriously, think about how much your life has changed in a year.
Yeah, we'll see.
We'll see.
We'll see.
If it changes.
It's going to change.
You booked at that same campus tomorrow. I should probably expect what
It's going to
happens
change,
here.
Mike. It's going to change.
All right.
But do you guys anticipate things changing in a big way now that
He
you're
does.
What do you think?
What do you say like that?
What are your honest expectations for the show once people check it out?
You know, I mean, it's really hard to say. You know, we've been with this show, been making this show for so long. It's like, even though we're in the week of release, we've been waiting for a release for so long. Like, oh goodness, it's a couple of days away.
We're a couple of pregnant men.
You're just ready
and
to
now,
pop.
like, get this baby out of me, sort of.
Show baby.
Yeah,
You know?
we're at 45 weeks. It's too long. Pregnancy jokes, right? Any woman who's pregnant would be like, oh yeah, it's too long.
They know.
Yeah, so it's kind of like, I don't really know what to expect, honestly. I'm excited to see how people are going to take it. I mean, there's a couple things that have already come out. We dropped a extended set of a comedian from the first episode. We dropped the video from the first episode. And both of those are out there on the internet, and they've already gotten a lot of positive feedback.
That's
so
awesome.
That's a good sign.
It is.
Yeah.
We think people are going to like the show.
Yes.
I just don't know what that's going to mean for either of our lives.
I guess we'll find out. I think it's cool also. You guys are amplifying new voices. You have some old voices in there. So how'd you guys go about doing that? Start with you, Mike.
Well, I was, like, coming from music, kind of took the lead in trying to assemble the musicians for the show. And so, you know, we have, like, Method Man, for instance, who I've been a fan of my entire life. And we have Lizzo, for instance, who I've only known a few years, but of course is on a meteoric rise right now. But to me, it was about collecting musicians that were not afraid to lean comedic, not afraid to kind of get out of their comfort zone, and actually wanted to show different sides of their personalities. So that was kind of the unifying factor with all of the musicians, at least, that we were able to bring to the show.
How about the comedians? I mean, comedians can be really supportive. They can be really competitive as well. So how'd you go about finding the right people?
Well, luckily, you know, the kind of environment that has grown around the show has been a very supportive environment. That's another thing about this show is the community that's kind of risen around it, which has been pretty amazing. So, I mean, I look at that as an extension of the greater comedian community, right? I'm one of the few stand-up comics that still like stand-up comics. So being able to have a place where all these different comedians that I know are great, but that America doesn't necessarily know is great, or, you know, there's so many places to see comedy now.
Right.
You could say you're oversaturated in a sort of a way.
No doubt, yeah.
So to have, I feel, a destination, a kind of a one-stop shop to see a bunch of different kinds of comedians was always a goal. And so to take comedians that have been doing it, you know, 5, 10, 15 years that aren't household names and just give them the spotlight for, you know, a couple minutes to do their thing is always good. So there's so many comedians that I want to book, it was never a problem. You know, honestly, I keep thinking about people I couldn't book. I need to stop thinking about it. But also, that's a hope for future seasons, is being able to put all these people up there.
I'm sure those people will be bummed they didn't get on season 1.
Some people have made that very clear.
Comics usually don't hide it when they don't feel good about it.
That's true.
Well, you guys had to make tough decisions, I'm sure.
Yes, we did.
We had 24 slots.
24 slots.
Total?
1,000 people.
Yes.
Wow.
We've had a lot of comedians. I mean, this show's been going on for multiple years, so
Yeah.
it's like even just the list of comedians that have done the show is a couple hundred deep.
Substantial, yeah.
And comedians from all over the country as well. So this season we leaned more into people who are based in New York or LA.
I gotcha.
There's only one person that's not from either of those cities on the show. He is from Mars, which goes with, you know, men are from Mars, women are from Venus.
Yeah.
But hopefully we'll be able to, you know, expand that purview. Is that the right word?
Right. Yeah, you
That's
good.
a good word.
Okay.
Yeah. And then I think lastly for you guys have talked about it before, but just how people have been labeled black creatives, and you just wanted just them to be creatives. So how will this show kind of help cut through that and go away from just pigeonholing people like we tend to do in society?
I don't so much mind people being called black creatives. I just don't want people to think that they understand exactly what that means. I don't want them to bring a preconceived notion of that being one particular type of creativity.
I gotcha.
Yeah, I would say that we're using that, you know, those assumptions to subvert them in a kind of a way. I mean, we're leaning into this being a black show, a black comedy show with black comedians, but again, what black means has been a limited sort of thing. I mean, I think we're in a time where there's so many shows and so many creatives out there that are black that are doing all kinds of things, you know, from Jordan Peele to Donald Glover to Lena Waithe. It's like there's a rising tide, and so we're just trying to help.
Yeah, no doubt.
Do our own version of it.
No, add to the conversation.
Yes,
you know, and like you said, have one place where everybody can come to. I think that's a big thing as well. So why don't you tell everybody when they can check it out and where they can check it out?
Oh, goodness.
Right here.
In that one?
Yes,
or in
right
this
there.
one?
Straight ahead.
Okay.
Boom.
All right. Hey, how you doing? I'm Baron Vaughn. Please watch the new Negroes, April 19th on Comedy Central and BET.
There you have it. Baron, Mike, guys, thanks so much. Check out the show. We'll see you next time here on The Sit Down.